Hi everybody, welcome to week 1 of Tory's Tidbits. The one I recorded earlier was a pre-session just to have you guys kind of prepared and know what's coming up. We've had our first full week. It was a little different. Came in on Monday and then we had a snow day on Tuesday, but the Capitol was not shut down. They just sent staff home just to be safe, and some of us still came in, and it was great to work in peace and quiet and not have distractions. So I came in on Tuesday and got a lot of work done for childcare. So I really look forward to that, which we're going to talk about that here in a bit. And then Wednesday was a very ceremonial day. It was State of Judiciary and State of the State. So State of Judiciary is when the Chief Justice for the Supreme Court comes over, and she had her address in the House chambers. The Senate came over. The appellate court was there as well, along with her other members of the Supreme Court came over, and they just gave their expectations, kind of gave an update. The biggest thing, and some of you may have heard about the large security breach, data breach that happened over at the judicial branch, and what they're doing to make sure that everything is back to normal. And so, they said there was a while that they went back to paper, just like the good old school days. And she really just made us feel much better and at ease to know that they're working on it and it's not over yet, but I trust them. I mean, I wouldn't know what to do in that situation. So they're on it, and they have great IT staff, and they had the experts come in. So very excited about that. One thing she did talk about, which I was very proud of and honored for her State of Judiciary address, was that, the Rule of Justice Committee that I'm on, and it's going to be, it's not just a meet a little bit and so forth, but it's a very extensive committee. And what we're doing is trying to find, how do we bring attorneys to rural Kansas? And there's a couple counties that have 0 attorneys, and so what do we do? And so I'm on that committee, and I hosted and invited everyone to come to Great Bend back in August, and they did, and we had a great roundtable with some area attorneys. And so very, very thankful to have that, and she mentioned that in her address, and we have some great things coming about, and maybe some legislation that'll help with that as well. So that was State of Judiciary. State of the State, it was what we thought it was going to be. I am thankful on some things that the governor talked about, but also disagree with quite a bit of it. One thing I am thankful is that she's finally putting rural Kansas out there and making it a top priority. It only took 6 years, but you know what? I'm just thankful that it's finally happening. So that is one thing that she talked about, was bringing high-speed internet and rural broadband to, I think she said, 9,000 homes. So very thankful for that. We need that out here. The other thing that I am thankful for just bringing up rural Kansas, is she did talk about water. Granted, the House has already led the way on that. So I think she got a lot of her talking points from work that has already been going on in the legislature that the Republicans have been leading. But at the same time, we need all of our branches to be concerned and thinking about rural Kansas, and especially water. And many of you know the lack of water that we have. Some things that I disagreed with her on: of course, childcare. Completely disagree on childcare. Creating another cabinet level position, growing government, is not the answer, and it never has been the answer. The answer needs to be less regulations. They're so burdensome, and that's why we have a big drop of childcare providers. And to be quite honest, I hate to say it, but we have black market childcare providers. We have those who are going underneath the radar. Why? Because of the burdensome of all of the regulations with childcare. So I'm going to be working on that this session. I think that is huge. Like I said, in Barton County, we're over 900 slots short. We got to do something. Absolutely something. So working on that. The other thing, which many of you guys know about, Medicaid expansion, completely disagree with her on that. But I think that's something that a lot of people truly don't understand. She says 70% or over 70% of Kansans agree with it. But I find that really interesting when I have people asking me, what is Medicaid expansion? So if a bunch of folks don't even know what it is, then how is it 70% are agreeing to it? And this is why with polls, the question, how she worded it or how the poll question was worded, it makes you want to say yes or it makes you want to say no. So I'm thinking about doing a deep dive in that with the health chair, Chairwoman Brenda Landwehr. I want to know if that's something you guys are interested in. So I think it's really important to know what is Medicaid expansion and what it truly comes with. And the governor's plan, she has a tax. You guys, we're not going to call it a fee. It's a tax on hospitals. It's a bed tax to help fund her plan. So you go to the hospital, you're now paying for Medicaid expansion. So we can talk about that. I think that is one thing that I absolutely disagree with, and I think many of you do as well. For next week, we're off on Monday, of course, for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. But the other thing that I am super excited about is my new committee I'm on, Commerce, and we have a very busy week. So stay tuned, and if you guys have any questions, of course, always reach out, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week.